Welcome back. All right, so the gold medal game is set. The bronze medal game is set. Those games will take place on Saturday. So, right, it should be interesting to see who ends up winning this whole thing. It will not be Sweden. Sweden had problems in the round robin, and I thought, maybe they'll get it going in the medal round, right? I think I even mentioned that recently in a video. The idea that Sweden was known for being fantastic in the round robin and struggling in the medal round. So maybe they're just going to flip the switch. They were not able to flip the switch today, and Finland raised some eyebrows with two moves. First off, Lambert was a healthy scratch. Brad Lambert, who was a highly thought of prospect 2 years ago, now he ends up dropping in the draft, and he's a healthy scratch at the World Juniors. I'm bewildered. And yet, it ended up being a good call. Not only that, but they replaced Marilainen in net with Jatkala, which, again, it surprised me because I thought Marilainen played pretty well in what I had seen. But this ends up being a big difference maker for Finland. You take Lambert out of there, guy who's taken some penalties. They're not all that happy with how he's playing. And they put in the goaltender that they have a lot of faith in to beat Sweden. Ends up being some good lineup decisions there. The Swedes were wearing their blue jerseys. The blue jerseys, which, and they talked about this during the broadcast, the Swedes used to resist wearing, which is too bad because they're gorgeous. I have the yellow Sweden jersey. I've always wanted the blue one, but anytime the blue one becomes available, it sells out pretty quick. It is a very sharp-looking jersey. There's a delay game call 17 seconds in, and it's Torgerson that takes it. And it's one of those things that you don't want to be doing to start the game if you're Sweden, because Finland came in with a power play clicking at about 60%. That's pretty good. Even the Oilers would look at a 60% power play and say, that seems high. So, Jatkala at one end, Wallstead at the other. Wallstead's going to be the busier of the two most of this game. Edvinsson would clear it out. Good start for the penalty kill. Kemmel fires one wide. Järventie hits the side of the net. The power play is killed off 2 shots. And it felt like that was important for Sweden, that they needed to kill that off. Lysell then had a rush chance that was defended. He's kept to the outside. The Finns press 5 minutes in. Lysell rush chance is held. Then there's some shoving after that. So Fabian Lysell, I think, has played pretty darn well. We'll see how he does and whether or not he makes the Boston lineup soon here. Magnuson has a net feed that's a near miss there, so Sweden getting some opportunities. The first goal really loomed large as the game settles in. The shots are 7-5 for Finland halfway through the period. So, yeah, the first goal definitely loomed large. Grans blasts one wide. Simon Taivel is knocked into the boards by Andrea. The question then was, is it going to be 5 for boarding or 2? They pretty quickly decided it was a 2-minute penalty. Not one of those long reviews or anything. It was just the 2 minutes for boarding. But the Finns, this is their second power play, and it's a good thing it wasn't a 5, right? So there's a near miss for Ratu. Pudio then has a shot that's blocked. Sweden clears it out. That power play's killed off. No shots on net for Finland. So through 2 power plays, they have 2 shots on net. And again, it feels like Sweden is being given a second chance here, right? So we get that power play killed off. Liukas is then denied. We get pushing after a chance for Niederbrock at the other end is held. Andrea has a chance that's held as well. There's a post for Loof on a net drive. Swedes had some momentum, and it's a pretty even period. Honestly, the shot's 11-8, but I thought it was a really evenly played period of hockey. So we go to the second. Wallstead holds onto a puck. There's some pushing after that. These teams don't like each other. There wasn't any fisticuffs, but there was discussions between these teams throughout a lot of the game. Ogren's then denied on a rush. The Swedes press. Too many Swedes on the ice. Finland ends up with a power play. It's not a great call. I'm just going to say straight out, when the guy is at the boards, the door's opening, and he's got his hands on the boards, it's not generally decided that that's too many men on the ice. You're given that 3 feet. And all I could think was, if they call this every time this way, you would get too many men on the ice 15, 20 times a game. Now, the guy who replaced him, was he in the play? Yes. Does that happen regularly? Also, yes. So as the player's leaving the ice, it's called as too many men. And this is the Finns' third power play. Simon Taivel has a shot that deflects out, but they score. It's Pudio that scores from Niemela and Ratu at 5:18 and is a power play marker that makes it 1-0. That is the Finns' 14th power play goal in the tournament. And it scored 5-hole. It was a really nice play by Pudio to make Wallstedt open up. Wallstedt was trying for a poke check, couldn't get that done. And Sweden needs to push back. This is where I think they had 10 shots in the game at this point. They really needed to show some pushback. Olsson has a rush chance that deflects wide. Grans with a trip. Finland goes right back to the power play. It is power play number 4. And the Grans trip is a trip. That is a penalty every time. There's pushing after a whistle because the puck was loose momentarily. Players see that and they go after it. Loof is dinged on a shot block. Pudio has a shot that's held, and then there's some shoving. That power play is killed off. So Finland was 1 for 4 at that stage. They get 1 shot on that power play. Kemmel with a near miss high and wide. The Finns press with 6 minutes left. Kemmel actually had a couple of shots during that same stretch that he just narrowly misses the net. Sweden is not driving the play. Very few chances. Honestly, they end up with 7 shots in that period. I'm kind of surprised, but you'll see why they ended up with 7 shots in that period. And they really needed a goal they don't get. Simon Taival misses high on a rush. The Swedes get their first power play. It was 7 for 13 in the tournament coming into this game. And then they get 1 minute and 34 seconds of 5-on-3 due to a high stick. It's a high stick. It's a penalty. Finland clears on the initial faceoff. Andrea has a blast that's saved. Grans has a shot that's blocked. Lysel's chance is held, and then the DJ in the building plays Deutschland by Rammstein. I will always acknowledge when Deutschland by Rammstein is played. One of the greatest songs ever. There you go. There's a clear on another faceoff win by the Finns. They kill off the 5-on-3, and they allow 3 shots to the Swedes. So they had 4 shots in that period, 5-on-5. And Sweden did not have that pushback. So we're going to the third. It's only a 1-0 game. But it does, as Gord Miller said, it felt like it was more. Järventi with an early rush. That's defended. Kemmel blasts one wide. Sweden ices it. So here's Finland getting the pressure. And when Sweden gets the puck out, they end up icing the puck. Jatkala holds when the Swedes get a rare opportunity here. Lysell then with a net drive. That's broken up by Pudio, who had a really good game. Lysel's next shot is held. Olsson's denied as Sweden finally starts showing some pressure and fight back. Ratu then has an opportunity on a rush where he fires wide. He is then robbed on a breakaway not long after that, same shift. Huge save by Wallstedt. Wallstedt was excellent in this game. Sweden presses at 8.5 minutes. Andrea has a shot that deflects wide. Simon Taival ends up clearing it out. Liukas hits the post on a rush. The game is opening up. We're getting good rushes both ways, which is nice because there was a lot of this where it just felt like not as much the trap, but very defensive, keeping to the outside, both teams playing that way. Andrea has a shot that's blocked at the half. Magnuson and Liukas were kind of going back and forth at each other. The referees let it go. Kemmel has a rush chance that's blocked. The Finns now with the lead, second half of the period, playing back. And well aware, hey, they've got to get it on us. We don't have to do anything from here. Really, really good play. The Swedes can't set up. Both teams were getting upset with non-calls, too. Both benches yelling about calls that weren't being made at this point as the referees put the whistles away. And there was some chopping going on. Vasanen was denied. The Finns press with 5 minutes left. Edvinsson has a pass that turns into an icing with 4:28 left. And that's just a little bit off. The Swedes, just a little bit off. Järventi then with a rush as Lysell slashes a Finn. That is not called. It was a pretty clear slash, and that's the kind of calls that both teams were getting upset weren't being called. Goalie gets pulled with 1:25 left. I think they probably could have pulled Wallstedt earlier. It really doesn't make a big difference. Puck hits Jatkala's mask. It pops off with 47.4 seconds left after that mask is popped off. Sweden calls a timeout. Andrea, right off the faceoff, he does a back pass to nobody, so it takes 10 more seconds to come in and set up. Well, when you've only got 47 seconds left off that faceoff, that 10 seconds is just rough, right? So Andrea then has a shot that's blocked, and that's it. You know, the Finns end up blocking, they end up holding on, they win this one 1-0. They will play the gold medal game against Canada tomorrow. For Sweden, they're left in the bronze medal game against Czechia, and honestly, for Sweden, this has to be a huge disappointment. For Finland and Canada, now they get a chance, as was said again, to decide which country is really the dominant country at the World Juniors. Is it Canada? Is it Finland? Their matchup during the round robin was close. We'll see what happens. The shots in this one, 11-8 Finland in the first, 12-7 Finland in the second, 8-5 Sweden in the third. Final shots, 28-23 for Finland. The players of the game, Jesper Wallstedt for Sweden, absolutely. And Juha Jatkola, the goaltenders, the players of the game, no argument with that. Although Pudio, that's the reason I'm wearing the Florida hat, because he is property of the Florida Panthers. They have not signed him as of yet, though. So we'll see what happens in tomorrow's bronze medal and gold medal games. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.